Alright, so today you guys are gonna go over writing equations with variables on both sides. But first, as a refresher, we're gonna break down the format, our slope-intercept form of an equation so that we can write it properly. So our y value is our dependent variable. Okay, it's also known as our total or our output. Okay, M represents your slope. We also know it as our rate of change or rise over run. And when we're working through word problems, words that help us identify our slope are per, each and every. Because they are words that indicate repetition, so it repeats. Okay? Next, X is our independent variable. It's also known as our input. Okay? Known as our input. B is our y-intercept. Okay, our y-intercept is where we begin. It's our starting point. Okay, it's our starting point. It's a one-time fee. And it does not repeat. Okay, so it doesn't repeat. So here, just breaking this down, this is y equals our slope times our independent variable plus our y-intercept. Okay, so it's slope multiplied by our independent variable. So if I were given the rate of change in verbal form, let's say I went 75 miles per hour. All right, per indicates multiplication. Well, we know 75 would be the slope. It repeats because we know that by per an hour. So this is literally 75 is your M, per is the multiplication, and hour is your X. That's how I identify my variable. My independent variable typically comes after per, each, or every. Okay? And it's in the question. So let's take a look at our first example. So we're going to take a look at example A or example 1. So here it says charter a bus charges $50 plus 40 cents per mile for renting a charter bus. Buses for You charges $35 plus 55 cents per mile. For what number of miles is Buses for You have the same, so that means they're equal to, costs as charter A buses? So both of these expressions represent the cost that it takes to rent a charter bus. So first I want to figure out, what is my variable? Well, my variable, let me look at the question. It says for what number of miles? And if I take a look at the word after per, it aligns mile. So my variable is miles. That's what I'm looking for. That's our independent variable. Now, before I start my expressions, I'm going to break this down. I'm going to put M equals and B equals. So for charter A bus, I need to find my slope and my y-intercept. For charter A bus, I know it's $50 plus 40 cents per mile. 40 cents will be my slope. because that repeats. For every mile, I pay 40 cents. My y-intercept is 50. Okay? My y-intercept is 50. It doesn't repeat. It's just a one-time fee. So now that I know my slope and my y-intercept, I am going to circle the correct expression, which would be 50 plus 44 or 0.4 m. I know that because my slope is always next to the variable. Now for buses for you, I'm going to do the same thing. Put m equals, b equals. Okay? So when I read about buses for you, it's 35 plus 55 cents per mile. So 35 would be my y-intercept and 55 cents would be my slope. And the first expression is written. Now that I have the two expressions that belong to each company, I'm going to make them equal to each other, and that's how I write an equation. So first I have 50 plus 0.4 m is equal to 0.55 m plus 35. There are multiple ways to write an equation, so I can even flip it. So I have 0.55 m plus 35 is equal to 50 plus 0.4 m, and it is the same thing. So now, looking at example 2, Susie and Karen are each opening a savings account. Susie opens her account with $80 and withdraws $5 a week. Karen opens her account with $15 and adds $20 a week. How many weeks will it take for Karen to have the same amount of money as Susie? So, first I need to figure out what my variable is. My variable would be weeks. Okay? Susie's expression, I'm going to find my slope and I'm going to find my y-intercept. Well, my slope would be -5, and it's -5 because she withdraws $5 a week. So that means she's taking away $5 each week. Then my y-intercept is 80 because she started with $80. So this would be the correct expression. Now looking at Karen's expression, m equals and b equals. Okay. Karen adds $12 a week, so it's plus 12, and she starts with $15. So it'll be our first expression. Now that I have the correct expressions, I can make them equal and write my equation in two different ways. So let's do 12W plus 15 is equal to 80 minus 5W, or 80 minus 5W is equal to 12W plus 15. Now you're going to go ahead and complete your assignment. For your assignment, you need to make sure that you are reading the questions correctly. Make sure you have something to write with. And please answer the red question. Red question. Remember, when we're asking for the variable, we are looking for a word. Okay?